This book is really indebted to a lot of the 1960s Hollywood and European films that used a lot of stars. Things like It's a Mad, Mad World, the early Woody Allen films where with Peter Sellers, the 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 whole Peter Sellers all-star cast. Reviews. In the 1960s, you had a lot of European films where you had 4 or 5 filmmakers doing 20-minute films into things like Boccaccio 70 or something, and so it is perfectly reasonable to think that since Howard Hughes had been mentioned before as possibly being the mule or funding the foundation with the mule as a figurehead or something, uh, you know, who better to have than the guy who at the time was considered either the richest or second richest man in the world, at least private citizen in the world. And it was known that Howard Hughes had the largest payroll, that he had people on his staff who did things that no one knew what. I mean, when you look at government payrolls, there are black operations and there are government departments that no one knows what the hell do they do. And Hughes had people working on things they had no clue about in there. And uh, I think it's in my spy book where I have a scene with Howard Hughes actually paying one of his doubles. And this is important because it's known that Howard Hughes had doubles, and it's stated that the mule may have had doubles too, which leads one to think that Hughes might have been the mule. But it was also rumored that Howard Hughes had estates and whatnot. So I have Howard Hughes here in like southern Arizona or southern Nevada rather, have this giant complex built into a butte, and it's this very thing from a Bond film that a Bond villain might have. It opens up
He
and
lives in a mountain.
yeah, well, yeah, it's actually a butte, but
Yeah, I know. He actually lives in a mountain,
yeah,
and it's also very sterile in there. He needs it completely clean. Big Frank flicks a booger at him at one point,
yeah.
and he goes ape shit in that moment.